Don't fail your solar inspection. If you're installing solar in Canada, the tiny certification marks on your equipment can make the difference between a smooth approval and a very expensive failure. So today, we're going to show you exactly what to look for before your ESA inspector shows up to check out your solar system. Let's break down the Canadian electrical certifications, what they mean, which ones matter, and how to spot the red flags before they cost you money. And yeah, I know certifications sound boring, but trust me, this is the stuff that keeps your system legal, insurable, and safe. Let's start with a real-world example. Let's say you find a cheap off-brand lithium battery bank online. Looks powerful, the price is tempting, and it seems like a great way to save a few bucks. But here's the problem. If that battery doesn't have a certified, properly tested battery management system, or BMS, it may be missing the safeguards that prevent overcharging, overheating, cell damage. If one cell fails internally, it can trigger thermal runaway, which is a chain reaction where the battery creates its own heat and releases flammable gases. Lithium battery fires can burn extremely hot, spread quickly, and they are not something you can handle with a regular household extinguisher. This is exactly why inspectors take battery certifications so seriously. That means no connection authorization, no legal startup, and potentially thousands of dollars in extra costs. You may have to remove the uncertified unit, pay for a proper disposal, buy a certified replacement, pay for reinstallation, and then pay again for reinspection. So that deal that you got on that battery can turn into the most expensive part of the whole project. So how do you avoid that mess? It's simple, and we're going to tell you how. Let's start by taking a look at the big three certification bodies in Canada. Let's start by clearing up a big misconception. A lot of people think that solar power equipment in Canada absolutely must have a CSA logo in order to be legal. That's not quite true. What really matters is that the product has been tested by a lab accredited by the Standards Council of Canada, or the SCC. The three names that you'll usually see are CSA, the Canadian Standards Association. This is Canada's homegrown testing association. They develop safety and performance standards for all kinds of industrial and electrical gear. The next one is UL, Underwriters Laboratories. This is a massive global safety science company. For Canada, you want to look for the CUL or ULC mark. That little c means it was tested specifically to Canadian safety standards. Last, there's ETL, or Edison Testing Laboratories. Run by Intertek, ETL doesn't write their own standards. Instead, they test products against existing UL and CSA standards. A CETL mark carries the exact same legal weight as a CSA mark. There are more organizations that do certifications in Canada, such as the ones that are shown here. We'll also share a link below in the video description for a full list of certification bodies from the ESA website. Here's the main takeaway. CSA, CUL, and CETL are all acceptable when the mark shows Canadian certification. Inspectors will care that the equipment is certified for Canada, not that it just has a familiar logo. And if you see only a CE mark, that's a bit of a red flag. CE is a European self-declaration and by itself will not satisfy a Canadian electrical inspection. Next, let's take a look at a component breakdown and the certifications that matter for each one. If you're planning on building a whole system, this is the part where you pull up your spec sheets and start checking the labels. For solar panels, the key certificate you should be looking for is the CSA C22.2 number 61730. Safety standards that ensure the panels meet the required electrical and fire safety standards. When it comes to solar power inverters, the first thing you want to understand is if you are installing a grid interactive system or grid-tied system, which is any system that has a direct physical connection to the power grid, regardless of whether or not you are sending power back to the grid. If you are installing a grid interactive inverter, whether it's a net metering or load displacement system, it must be certified and labeled as a grid interactive inverter in Canada. That means approval to CSA 22.2 number 107.1 with grid interconnection requirements under CSA C22.3 number 9. Off-grid inverters don't connect to the utility, so they don't require that grid connection certification. However, they still need to be certified to CSA 22.2 number 107.1. This standard verifies that the inverter safely converts DC power into AC power, provides protection against overheating and electrical faults, and is safe to operate as the primary power source for your home or cabin. Now, let's dive into batteries and energy storage systems. These are typically the most expensive component of a solar system, and they're also where we see homeowners make the most costly mistakes when it comes to certifications. Battery certifications can be the most confusing because there are three standards with very similar names. However, each one serves a different purpose. Starting with UL 1973, this certifies the battery itself. It verifies that the battery modules and battery management system have been independently tested to safely withstand electrical, mechanical, and thermal stresses. UL 9540A is a fire rating test rather than a certification. The batteries are placed in a lab, physically burned, and evaluated on whether or not the failure remains contained without spreading uncontrollably. UL 9540 certifies the entire energy storage system, including the battery, inverter, and control equipment. It verifies that all components have been tested together and approved to operate safely as one integrated system. However, in the absence of UL 9540, you can apply for a field inspection. When every major component is properly certified for Canada, you're buying more than just equipment. You're investing in the safety of your home and family. These certifications verify that the equipment has been independently tested for electrical safety, fire protection, and long-term operation in Canadian conditions. So, before you buy, check that specification sheet and verify the Canadian certification marks. And make sure you keep the documentation available for your inspector. It's one of the simplest steps you can take to help ensure a safe, compliant, and hassle-free solar installation. If you want your next solar project to be compliant, inspection-ready, and safe for Canadian installation, visit solarpowerstore.ca. We carry only certified solar equipment designed for use right here in Canada, so you can build with confidence from day one. If this video has been helpful and helped you avoid a costly mistake, hit the like, subscribe for more solar education, and drop your questions in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.